Welcome back to the channel, Podheads. I'm your Prince of Dorkness, Starbuck, and today we're going to take a look at the Howard the Duck by Chip Zdarsky and Joe Quinones Omnibus from Marvel Comics. So stick around, let's talk comics. Hey Podheads, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today as we talk about the Howard the Duck Omnibus from Marvel Comics. This is the Chip Zdarsky Joe Quinones run, and we're going to talk all about this fantastic book. I'm really excited to talk to you about it, but before we do, I want to take a moment to recognize that our channel hit 50 subscribers today. Thank you so much for all of our new subscribers, and thank you to Da Collector, our epic giveaway winner. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the story. This story is the most irreverent thing I've ever read in comic books. Clearly, the source material from Steve Gerber also had that vein, but it was not the same. Whereas I was not born yet in the 1970s, a lot of the topical references and pop culture references in that book went right over my head. So it lost a lot of the humor and the flavor I expect that was originally intended with the story. Having read the new-ish Howard the Duck for the first time recently, this is just, it's crazy. It turns Marvel upside down. You see our heroes being the most neurotic and wimpy heroes ever to grace the pages of comic books. It's fantastic. It is a lot of fun if you don't mind that irreverent humor. With this book, Howard goes to space, becomes cosmic, meets the Silver Surfer, fights Galactus, fights the Collector on Collecton, goes to the Savage Land. He goes to Florida for goodness sake. He goes everywhere in this book. He has sidekicks that are Tara the Martian and Peter Parker's Aunt May. Do you not want to read this now? Because you should. If you haven't already, this should absolutely be on your reading list. The book flows very well in what is kind of really quick pacing for such a small volume. The first mini-series, I think it's 5 issues, is fantastic and kind of leaves everything just ready to jump into the #1 issue later in the year in 2015. Jokes are constantly made by the writer and artist all the way through it. You get editor's notes that are jokes. At one point in this book, there's a crossover with Squirrel Girl, the Squirrel Girl title. And let me just tell you that the absolute high point of this book is when Ryan North is working with Chip Zdarsky, and they're writing quips back and forth in the bottom of the pages. Now, I've never read Squirrel Girl, so I get the impression that that's something that's kind of going on over there a lot, or was when that book was still in run. This, though, is completely new to me. I found it a whole new type of joy to read the bickering of the creators in the sides of the panels. So, super fun. If you like that kind of creators and characters breaking the fourth wall, this is definitely the book for you. One of the things that I don't get a lot in comic books lately is a lot of levity. Howard the Duck provides levity galore. It's humorous, it will make you laugh out loud, and I stayed up late reading it because it was just so much fun. The artwork in the book by Joe Quinones is fantastic. The one thing that I did notice about this book was that some of the action scenes, some of the just single panels and things like that, I didn't always understand what was happening in the action. Generally upon very close inspection and really studying the page, I was able to go, oh, I get what's happening now. Howard is phasing through the hand of the Collector. Or, oh, I see, Daredevil is hitting this guy as he's kicking this guy away. They're not just all floating in the air. It did have some moments like that where I had trouble following the action. But apart from that, I mean, it was very few moments, and it did not take away from the overall enjoyment at all. This book is irreverent, funny, fantastical and is kind of just like a worm's eye view of the Marvel Universe in 2015, or maybe a duck's eye view. On another note, folks, one of the things that some of you may know about me is when I read long comic stories, I like to pair them with albums that I think will be complementary or immersive to my story. And let me tell you, this week's did not disappoint. I can't think of a better album to listen to while reading about a talking duck that's always mad at things than the Richard Band score for the movie Terror Vision. Now, I bought this on vinyl on Amazon. I don't know if it's still in print. I doubt that it's going to be on Apple Music or Spotify, so you'll probably have to dig around YouTube to listen to this. But I definitely recommend it. It's got some cool 1980s inspiration of electronic kind of dance compositions while being appropriately dynamic for a film score. So definitely check it out. There's a lot of moments of levity that match up really well with the same moments of levity in Howard the Duck. And that's my video, Podheads. Thank you so much for sticking around. I want to say a big thank you to all of you. I love you. Make sure, if you haven't already subscribed, you hit the button below, hit the bell for notifications, and remember, when all else fails, take a nap.